In 2013, a billionaire looked at Bitcoin and said it was finished. A scam, going to zero. 7 years later, that same man bet his entire company on it. Today, his firm holds more Bitcoin than most nations. His stock has risen over 3,000%. His strategy is not complicated. It is not secret. Anyone can use it. And yet, most people will ignore it. Buy. Hold. Wait. His name is Michael Saylor. And his message is simple. Hold Bitcoin for 10 years. Look like a genius. In December 2013, Michael Saylor was a successful tech executive. His company, MicroStrategy, had been building business intelligence software for decades. That month, he looked at Bitcoin trading at $892. He tweeted that Bitcoin's days were numbered, that it would go the way of online gambling. He was not alone. Almost every financial expert agreed. Bitcoin was a bubble, a fad, a speculative toy for tech enthusiasts. For 7 years, Saylor ignored it completely. Then came 2020, a global pandemic, trillions of dollars printed, interest rates at zero. Saylor watched the money supply expand by 40% in 2 years. He watched the purchasing power of cash evaporate in real time. And he asked himself a question that changed everything. Where do I put $500 million in cash so that it doesn't melt? He studied Bitcoin again, not as a currency, not as a payment system, as property, digital property, with a fixed supply that no government could expand. On August 11, 2020, Saylor made his move. MicroStrategy purchased 21,454 Bitcoin for $250 million. Average price, $11,653 per coin. Wall Street called it reckless. Analysts called it insane. Saylor called it the beginning. What Saylor did next defied every rule of traditional corporate finance. He kept buying. Through every dip, through every crash, through every moment of doubt. September 2020, another $175 million. December 2020, $650 million more. February 2021, over $1 billion in a single month. When Bitcoin crashed from 64,000 to 16,000 in 2022, critics declared Saylor finished. His company had lost billions on paper. His strategy had failed. Saylor's response? He bought more. While others panicked and sold at the bottom, Saylor accumulated. When FTX collapsed and the crypto industry seemed doomed, Saylor accumulated. When every headline screamed that Bitcoin was dead, Saylor accumulated. He has never sold. Not once. Today, his company, now simply called Strategy, holds 687,000 Bitcoin. That is 3.2% of all Bitcoin that will ever exist. Current value, over $60 billion. His stock has risen over 3,300% since that first purchase. Not 300, 3,300. When asked if he would ever sell, Saylor's answer became legendary. Quote, I'm going to be buying the top forever. Bitcoin is the exit strategy. He was asked, with billions in profit, why not take some off the table? His response, there's no reason to sell the winner to buy the losers. Saylor views every other asset as inferior. Gold is expensive to store and verify. Real estate is illiquid and local. Stocks are tied to management teams that can fail. Bitcoin, in his framework, is perfect property. Digital, borderless, scarce, indestructible. When asked how long Strategy would hold its Bitcoin, Saylor gave an answer that stunned the financial world. 100 years, not a typo, a century. He is not building for the next quarter. He is building for the next generation. His prediction. Bitcoin will grow at approximately 30% per year for the next 2 decades. At that rate, the price reaches $13 million by 2045. In his most recent forecast, $21 million in 21 years. Fantastical? Perhaps. But consider, in the last 10 years, Bitcoin's compound annual growth rate was 84%. Saylor's prediction assumes it will perform significantly worse than it historically has. Now, here's what matters for you. Saylor's strategy is not available only to billionaires. The principle is universal. Most people who buy Bitcoin try to time the market. Buy low, sell high, Catch the swings. The data shows that 90% of traders lose money. The ones who profit? The ones who do nothing. Every person who bought Bitcoin at any point in history and held for 4 or more years is in profit. Every single one. Not because they were smart, because they were patient. Saylor distilled his philosophy into a single observation. Bitcoin is the casino where anybody who wants to play can keep winning if they are patient enough to stay in the game. The strategy requires one thing most people cannot provide: patience. The ability to watch your investment fall 50% and do nothing. The ability to ignore headlines declaring the death of your asset. The ability to hold when everyone else sells. Saylor bought at 11,000. He bought at 30,000. He bought at 60,000. He even bought at 117,000. He has never sold a single Bitcoin. His approach is about conviction, not timing. This video is not telling you that Saylor is correct. No one can guarantee the future. The risks are real. Bitcoin has fallen 80% multiple times in its history. It could happen again. Strategy uses leverage and debt. If Bitcoin falls far enough, their model faces pressure. Critics like Jim Chanos call the strategy financial gibberish. Saylor's response to critics is simple. They have been wrong for 4 years. His stock has outperformed almost every asset on Earth since 2020, but outperformance in the past does not guarantee outperformance in the future. The lesson is not to blindly follow a billionaire. The lesson is to understand the principle beneath the strategy. Time is the edge. Patience is the strategy. Conviction is the requirement. If you believe in an asset's long-term value, short-term price movements become noise. That is the Saylor framework. Whether you apply it to Bitcoin is your decision. In 2013, Michael Saylor said Bitcoin was finished. Today, he is the largest individual corporate holder of Bitcoin on Earth. The difference? Time. He did not possess secret information. He did not have an unfair advantage. He simply changed his mind when the evidence changed. Then he committed, fully, without hesitation. And he held. His advice to anyone willing to listen: buy Bitcoin. Hold for 10 years. Look like a genius. Simple, difficult, profitable.